At 58, after 32 years of marriage, Evelyn Turner left the county courthouse with $184 in checking, a damp cardboard file box, and a ring of keys Carl's attorney dropped into her palm without looking up. And the keys belonged to May's beauty room, her mother's shuttered shop on Sycamore Street, a place Carl had called a tax problem with mirrors. Carl kept the house, the savings, the lake timeshare, and the contracting business Evelyn had kept books for since 1996. Evelyn drove 26 minutes through March rain to the old storefront, where gold letters peeled from the front glass and a county notice sagged in the lower corner. May's beauty room had been closed since her mother died in 2004. The pink vinyl chairs were split at the seams. A cracked hand mirror still lay beside the register. She had come to clean the place out, sell the chairs, and let the county take whatever was left. But when she forced open the swollen shampoo cabinet behind the sink, she found receipts, appointment books, and certified mail slips wrapped in a towel stiff with old hairspray. One envelope had been filed, stamped, returned, and kept. For reasons May had never explained to anyone, the rain had followed Evelyn from the courthouse, clung to her shoes, and darkened the cuffs of her only good pants. In the parking lot, she had set the cardboard file box on the passenger seat of her 2009 Corolla and watched the bottom sag from dampness. Carl's attorney had handed it to her with 2 fingers, like it held spoiled food. Inside were the things Carl said were hers: a church directory photograph from 2011, a chipped casserole dish with a blue lid that did not match, a packet of thank you cards from the women's luncheon, all addressed to Eleanor, though she had cooked the chicken salad herself. 3 bank statements copied too dark to read. 1 loose button from Carl's gray suit, wrapped in tissue because she had been meaning to sew it back on. And an adding machine tape from Turner Contracting, curled like a dead ribbon. Evelyn had balanced Carl's books at the kitchen table every Thursday night for 27 years. She knew which subcontractor paid late, which supplier rounded up, which customer sent checks with lipstick on the envelope. Carl had called it helping. The judge had called it no separate wage record. One Thursday in 2018 came back to her while she sat in the car with the rain ticking on the windshield. Ayla. Carl had stood at the kitchen counter in his socks, talking into his phone about the Miller roof contract, while Evelyn fed paper through the adding machine beside a cup of coffee gone cold enough to skin over. The machine clicked and spat numbers into her lap. Carl had turned away from her when he said, "I've got my girl doing the books, not Evelyn, not partner, my girl." She had pressed the total key anyway. The tape curled over her wrist, warm from the machine, and she kept writing. Ha! Her daughter Bethany had stood outside the courtroom with wet hair tucked behind one ear. She had brought grocery store cupcakes in a plastic clamshell because someone in her office was retiring and the bakery had made too many. Bethany held the box against her coat. "Mom, Dad planned better." Evelyn had looked at the pink frosting sweating under the clear lid. Maybe that was the whole conversation. Now, on Sycamore Street, rain ran down the windshield and blurred the old downtown into streaks of brick and gray glass. May's beauty room sat between a closed shoe repair and a tax preparation office with a neon sign that blinked even in daylight. The gold letters on the window still said MASP Beauty Room, but the M had peeled at the corner and the apostrophe was almost gone. In the lower right corner, someone had taped a notice from the city. The paper turned soft around the edges. Evelyn parked at the curb. She had not opened the shop in 19 years. Her mother, May Larkin, had run the place from 1978 until the stroke took her on a Tuesday morning in April 2004. Evelyn had come after the funeral with Carl. He waited in the car with the motor running while she took the cash drawer, 3 framed licenses, and her mother's apron from the back room. "Nothing here," Carl had said. She had believed him because believing Carl was often faster than standing still long enough to know better. The key stuck in the front lock. Evelyn worked it gently, then harder. The rain tapped the metal awning above her head. A bus sighed at the corner and pulled away, leaving the smell of diesel and wet pavement. The lock turned with a small, tired click. Inside, the shop was dim and narrow. Cold air pressed against her face. It smelled of dust, mildew, old setting lotion, and something faintly sweet that had held on in the walls. The floor was black and white tile, dull under a film of grime. 4 salon chairs faced a long mirror speckled at the edges. The pink vinyl on the nearest chair had split open, showing yellow foam beneath. A magazine lay under the second chair. Woman's Day, August 2003. The cover curled from damp. Evelyn shut the door behind her. The silence inside had weight. No dryers humming, no women laughing under plastic capes, and no radio playing low from the shelf above the register. Just rain against glass and the soft drip of water somewhere in the back. She set the cardboard file box on the counter. The cracked hand mirror beside the register was exactly where she remembered it. Its silver backing had blackened in a crescent near the handle. Her mother used to hold it behind customers' heads and wait while they looked at themselves from all sides. Evelyn picked it up. In the glass, her face appeared in pieces. One eye clear, one distorted by the crack. Gray hair pinned too tightly. Lipstick worn off from the courthouse coffee, which had tasted like paper cups and pennies. She put the mirror down. "Just clean it out," she said. Her voice disappeared into the room. She opened drawers first. Comb packets gone brittle. Bobby pins rusted together in brown clusters. A box of appointment cards with water stains at the corner. A half roll of breath mints stuck to its paper. Under the register was a drawer full of cheap pens, most of them dry. One leaking blue ink that had stained the wood like a bruise. In the back room, the ceiling had sagged near the vent. A bucket sat underneath, half full of brown water. The drip came every 11 seconds. Evelyn counted without meaning to. The shampoo area was worse. 2 sinks, one cracked. A shelf of old bottles with labels faded to pale blue. Perm rods in yellowed plastic boxes. A stack of towels stiff as shingles. Cabinet below the left sink would not open. Evelyn pulled the handle. The swollen wood held. She braced one wet shoe against the baseboard and pulled again. The handle came loose in her hand, the screw black with rust. She stood there a moment, breathing through her mouth. Then she found a flat metal nail file in a drawer and worked it into the seam. The cabinet gave with a groan. Boxes shifted inside. One slid forward and spilled blue perm rods across the tile. Behind them was a towel-wrapped bundle, tied with white string, brown where water had touched it. Evelyn lifted it out carefully. The towel smelled like old hairspray. On the top was an appointment book from 1999, its corners softened. Then another from 2000. Then 2001. Below them were envelopes, tax receipts, and certified mail slips, the green cards her mother had always told her not to throw away. The top envelope had May's handwriting. "Do not toss." Evelyn sat on the closed toilet lid in the back bathroom, knees close together, the bundle balanced on her lap. The bathroom light flickered twice before staying on. Its hum filled the little room. The first appointment book opened to January 1999. Names ran down each page in blue ink. Wash and set. Rinse. Trim. Color. Paid later. No charge. Then in the margin beside certain names, May had written small notes. Marlene, back door after 6. J. Pruitt, keep envelope. Rosa, courthouse copies. Diane, bus 420. Evelyn turned the page. More names, more notes. Some amounts were ordinary. $8, $50, $11, $14, $75. Others made no sense. $43 hidden, $120 returned, $6, 25 bus. She read until the light buzzed hard enough to make her look up. Her mother had kept records of hair appointments, but also something else. Small money, meetings, court dates. Women's names Evelyn remembered from childhood. Women who came in quiet and left with their hair pinned high, their mouths set straight. Evelyn pulled the envelopes closer. The first held property tax receipts. Aunt May Larkin, 414 Sycamore Street, paid by check, $318.44. Stamped April 12, 1999, another 327.10, paid March 30, 2000, another 89, paid April 2001. Tucked behind them was a city notice from 1999. Address renumbering confirmation. Old address, 418 Sycamore Street. New address, 418 Sycamore Street. Effective June 1, 1999. Stamped by the city clerk in purple ink, smudged across the seal. Evelyn stared at it. The notice taped to the front window had said 414. She went back to the front room and peeled the damp paper from the glass. It tore at the top. Scanty Tax Claim Bureau. Notice of delinquent tax sale. Property listed, 414 Sycamore Street. Owner of record, May Larkin Estate. Sale date, October 17. Evelyn read it once, then again. The old number. Her mother's old number. She set the notice on the counter and smoothed it flat with her palm. Rainwater from her sleeve left small dark marks on the paper. In the bottom corner, under Interested Purchaser, was a company name she did not know. Sycamore Renewal Partners, LLC, but the contact address was familiar. Turner Contracting. Carl's office. Evelyn stood very still. Across the street, the neon tax sign blinked red, then dark, then red again. The next morning, she carried the papers to the county building in a grocery bag, because the file box had finally given out. The annex was 3 blocks from the divorce courthouse, with lower ceilings, brown tile, and a vending machine humming beside a corkboard of public notices. Someone had left half a cheese Danish near the elevator. Evelyn's shoes were still damp. At the tax claim window, a young clerk with a silver nose stud looked at the notice. "This sale is pending." "I know, you'll need to speak to the bureau." "This is the bureau." The clerk blinked. Evelyn looked down at the nameplate. Kendra. The ink on Kendra's desk calendar had bled where coffee had spilled over Monday. "The address is wrong," Evelyn said, and Kendra took the renumbering notice and held it under the light. It was not a legal opinion. It was barely a sound. But Evelyn held on to it. Kendra disappeared into a back office. Through the half-open door, Evelyn saw metal shelves, banker's boxes, a copy machine with a sign taped to it. "Do not slam drawer." A woman came out 3 minutes later. She was short, square-shouldered, with white hair cut close to her head and reading glasses hanging from a beaded chain. She wore a brown cardigan, with one sleeve pushed higher than the other. "Mrs. Turner?" "Yes, I'm Rosa Delgado." Rosa held the papers like they were not old paper at all, but something warm. "I knew your mother." Evelyn gripped the grocery bag handles. Rosa looked toward the waiting area. "Come sit." They went to a small room with 2 chairs, a round table, and a window facing a brick wall. The room smelled of weak coffee and copier toner. A plastic fern sat in the corner, gray with dust. Rosa spread the papers on the table. "This renumbering mattered," she said. "I thought so. It may matter a lot." She tapped the county notice with one short fingernail. "This went to the wrong property number. It came here?" Rosa shook her head. "It was posted, but mailing is the issue." She opened the appointment book, not prying, just careful. May's handwriting filled the page. Rosa's own name appeared twice in March 1999. Rosa courthouse copies. Rosa looked at it for a long time. "She charged me $3, Rosa said. "For what?" "Nothing I could say out loud then." Evelyn waited. Rosa removed her glasses and wiped them with a tissue pulled from her cardigan pocket. "My husband had a hand like a door closing." The copier in the hall started up. Rosa put the glasses back on. "May let me use her back room. I copied bank statements there, pay stubs, the lease. Kept them in a blue envelope under her towels until I could leave." Evelyn looked at the appointment book. Blue envelope. The words changed shape. "She did that for others?" Rosa turned one page, then another. "More than you knew." Outside the little room, the copier finished with a hard clunk. Rosa gathered the tax receipts into a straight stack. "Your mother kept proof. That was her way." Evelyn looked at the sale notice. "And Carl?" Rosa did not answer quickly. She read the company name again. Sycamore Renewal Partners is LLC. Turner Contracting address. Then she took a yellow legal pad from a drawer and wrote 3 things in block letters. Mailing Record. Tax certificate assignment. Redemption deadline. "You need copies," she said. "I have $184. Copies are 25 cents. I mean, for a lawyer." Rosa capped her pen. "First, we find the file." The file was not upstairs. It was in basement storage, in a room where the air was colder and the lights came on by motion sensor. Rosa led the way, her sensible shoes squeaking on the polished floor. She moved like a person who had spent years in public buildings and knew which doors stuck. The basement smelled of cardboard and damp concrete. Rows of bankers' boxes sat on metal shelves. Each box had black marker labels: 2018 upset sale, 2019 notices, 2020 returned mail. Some labels were written neatly. Others slanted downward as if the writer had lost patience. Rosa pulled a box marked 2023 pending Sycamore. The tape resisted. She slid it with a key from her ring. Inside were folders. Evelyn stood beside her, holding the grocery bag against her coat. Rosa found May's folder near the back. The mailing certificate was inside, so was a returned envelope. The envelope had been sent to 414 Sycamore Street. Returned to sender, no such number. A second notice had been sent to Evelyn Turner at the Marigold Lane house. The green card was signed. C. Turner. Evelyn stared at the signature. Carl's C was always too large, a hooked thing that crowded the rest of his name. She had seen it on checks, birthday cards, contracts, permission slips, excuses. He signed for it, Rosa said. Evelyn reached toward the card, then stopped before touching it. The silence in the basement grew very clear. A pipe clicked overhead. Rosa placed the green card flat on top of the folder. Did he tell you? No. He signed in July. Evelyn remembered July. Carl had taken Bethany and the grandchildren to the lake timeshare for a weekend. He had told Evelyn to stay home because someone needed to meet the cabinet installer. The installer never came. Evelyn had eaten a tomato sandwich over the sink and watched a storm knock leaves into the pool. Rosa opened another document. Here, it was a tax certificate assignment. Purchaser, Sycamore Renewal Partners, LLC. Registered agent, Dean Voss. Mailing address, 88 Marigold Industrial Court, Suite B, Turner Contracting, occupied Suite B. Attached behind it was a copy of a downtown redevelopment agenda. Rosa held it under the basement light. City of West Haven. Sycamore block parking and access improvement proposal. The beauty shop parcel was marked in yellow. Evelyn could make out the words even through the copy smudge. Required for access lane. Rosa set it down. He needed the parcel. Handle. Evelyn folded her hands around the grocery bag handles until the plastic cut into her palms. He already had the house. Rosa did not soften the room with words. She put the papers back in order. You have a hearing date. I didn't request one. You will. The first letter from Carl came 3 days later. It was not handwritten. Carl disliked handwriting because people could keep it. The letter came from Dean Voss Realty on ivory paper with a blue logo shaped like a key. Mrs. Turner, our client remains willing to purchase the Sycamore Street parcel despite its tax delinquency and deteriorated condition. Given pending municipal action, code exposure, and likely demolition costs, immediate sale is advisable. Offer $2,500. The amount had been typed in bold. Evelyn read the letter at the beauty shop counter. The front door was open because the air inside had gone stale. Outside, a delivery truck idled in front of the tax office. Its liftgate beeped 3 times, paused, then beeped again. On the back of the letter, someone had written in pencil, "She'll take it." The pencil mark was faint, but there. Evelyn held the paper closer to the window. Carl's handwriting. He made his lowercase t like a nail. She folded the letter once and placed it with the others. Bethany called that evening. Evelyn was sitting on the floor of the beauty shop, sorting appointment books by year. The floor was cold through her coat. She had eaten a pack of peanut butter crackers for dinner and left the orange crumbs on a napkin beside a stack of tax receipts. Dad says you're in trouble. Evelyn looked toward the front window. Night had turned the glass black. What kind? With taxes. The shop. He told you? He said you won't listen. A car passed, tires hissing on wet pavement. Evelyn waited until the sound faded. Did he mention the letter? What letter? The one he signed for. Bethany was quiet. In the background, a child asked for water. Bethany covered the phone, murmured, came back. Mom, I can't be in the middle. You're not. It feels like I am. Evelyn picked up a bobby pin from the floor. Rust had eaten one side thin. Then step out. Bethany breathed into the phone. That's not fair. No, Evelyn set the bobby pin on the counter. It isn't. For a while, she did not pick the books back up. She sat on the floor with her coat still on, looking at the dark window and the reflection of one working lamp behind her. The apartment over the dentist's office had a radiator that knocked all night. Her checking account would not cover the next month without Bethany's help. A lawyer would ask for money before asking what happened. The red folder lay open beside her knee. Evelyn put one hand on it, then took her hand away. The shop gave a small creak in the rain. Names came back to her. Marlene with the purple coat. Diane, who flinched when the door opened too fast. Jean Pruitt, who always asked for her bangs cut shorter than May advised. Rosa Delgado, every other Friday. The notes were small and practical. Copy papers. Keep key. Do not call house. Paid after hearing. There were no speeches in May's books. No declarations. Just dates, amounts, initials, and notes written small enough to miss. Evelyn found a small envelope tucked into the 2002 book. Inside were 3 photographs. The first showed the beauty shop back room with a folding table, a coffee maker, and a stack of file folders. The second showed May standing beside the shampoo sink, one hand on her hip, hair sprayed into a silver helmet, mouth slightly open as if she had been caught mid-instruction. The third showed a younger Rosa by the back door, holding a cardboard box and looking away from the camera. On the back, May had written, "RD left safe." February 18, 2002. Evelyn pressed the photograph flat with her fingers. The cracked mirror caught her reflection from across the room. This time, the split in the glass ran through her shoulder. Carl came on a Wednesday. The weather had cleared, leaving the street washed pale and bright. Evelyn was scraping old tape from the front window with a razor blade. The tape came off in gummy strips that stuck to her fingers. Carl parked his black pickup in the bus zone. He still wore work shirts with his name stitched over the pocket, though he had not swung a hammer in 15 years. His boots were clean. A blue pen clipped to his pocket matched the company logo. He stood on the sidewalk and looked at the shop. "You should have called." Evelyn kept scraping. "I have your broker's letter." "He's not my broker." She peeled another strip of tape. Carl sighed. It was the sound he used when a waitress forgot lemon. "Evelyn." She stopped then. He had always said her name as if it were a small task he had been forced to complete. "You're going to lose this place," he said. "Maybe. The taxes alone." "I found the notice." His face did not change much. Carl was good at small changes. A blink too late. A hand moving to his pocket, then stopping. "What notice?" "The one you signed for." A bus pulled up at the corner. Its brakes sighed. 2 women got off, one holding a plastic bag from the pharmacy. Carl waited until they had passed. "You don't understand the process. I'm learning." He stepped closer to the glass. "This block is moving. The city wants parking, access, safer storefronts. You can't run a beauty shop in 2024 out of a room that smells like mildew." "It's 2025, he looked at her. For the first time that morning, something in his expression loosened. She had corrected him in public, only by a year, only with 4 words, but he had heard it. "Sell it," he said. "No, you need money." "Yes, then act like it." Evelyn wiped the razor blade on a paper towel. A tiny curl of old tape stuck to her sleeve. Carl glanced inside. "At your age, this is foolish." She looked at his truck in the bus zone, the polished chrome, the company decal. "How much is the access lane worth?" He smiled a little. "There it is." "What?" Rosa's been talking. Evelyn folded the paper towel twice. Carl lowered his voice. "You think old receipts will save you?" A gull cried somewhere above the flat roofs, though the river was 6 blocks away. "No," she said. Then she went inside and locked the door. Carl stood on the sidewalk for a few seconds. Through the glass, she watched him read the peeling gold letters. He touched the spot where the apostrophe had come off, then wiped his fingers on his jeans. When he drove away, he left one tire mark in the grit near the curb. The hearing notice arrived 9 days later. Evelyn had requested it with Rosa's help, on a form that left little room for handwriting. Rosa had filled the top portion because Evelyn's hand shook after the 3rd line. Tax sale objection and redemption eligibility, date April 22. Time 10:30 a.m., room 214. Rosa told her what to bring. Originals, copies, order matters. Evelyn bought a red accordion folder at the dollar store. The snap did not line up unless she pressed it with both thumbs. She labeled each section with a cheap black pen that squeaked against the tabs. Deed, tax, seeps, address to Turnmile, sign, Carl. The last tab sat there, too plain. She crossed it out and wrote Sycamore Renwall. The morning before the hearing, Bethany came to the shop. She arrived with 2 coffees and no children. Her coat was buttoned wrong, one button missed near the middle. She noticed and fixed it before coming in. The shop had changed some. Evelyn had washed the windows. The floor still needed stripping, but the old shine had begun to show in patches. She had covered the cracked chairs with clean white sheets. The broken mirror remained beside the register. Bethany stood inside the door. "It smells the same. You remember? A little?" She handed Evelyn a coffee. It was weak and too sweet. Evelyn drank it anyway. Bethany walked to the first chair and touched the sheet covering it. Dad said there's a buyer. There is. He said you're blocking progress. Evelyn set the coffee down. Did he say he signed the tax notice? Beth looked at her hands. He said mail came to the house. Did he say he kept it? No. The word was small. Evelyn opened the red accordion folder and placed the green card on the counter. Bethany leaned over it. Carl Turner. July 14. Her eyes stayed on the signature. He told me you ignored everything. Evelyn did not answer. Bethany picked up the top appointment book. It opened near the middle. She read one page, then another. What are these notes? Your grandmother's. Bethany touched a line with her finger. Keep envelope. The shop was quiet around them. A truck backed up outside. Beep, beep, beep. Bethany closed the book. I thought Grandma just did hair. Evelyn looked at the covered chairs, the sink, the old dryer hoods. So did I. Bethany placed the book back on the counter carefully, as if it had become heavier. What happens tomorrow? They decide if the sale moves, and if it does. Evelyn pressed the broken snap on the folder. Then I lose it. Bethany swallowed. What can I do? Evelyn looked at her daughter's coat, the button now straight. Sit behind me. Room 214 was too warm. People came in with wet umbrellas and closed them against the wall. The carpet smelled like old water. County seal hung behind the hearing table, slightly crooked. Fluorescent lights made every paper look thin. Evelyn sat with Rosa on one side and Bethany behind her. Carl sat 2 rows across with Dean Voss, the broker. Dean wore a tan jacket and held a folder he never opened. Carl looked at Evelyn once, then at the front of the room. A hearing officer named Martin Reed called the matter at 10:42. He had a stack of files, a paper cup of coffee, and a cough he tried to hide behind his hand. Maylarkin Estate, 414 Sycamore Street. Rosa stood. Forection and 18 Sycamore Street. Martin Reed looked over his glasses. Rosa placed the renumbering notice on the table. Effective June 1, 1999. Evelyn watched the paper slide forward. Purple stamp, smudged seal. Her mother had kept it for 26 years. Martin read it. Dean Voss opened his folder. Carl crossed one ankle over the other. Rosa laid out the tax receipts next. 1999, 2000, 2001. Then later receipts showing intermittent payments after May's death, enough to prove the estate had not vanished, enough to show Evelyn had received notices at the correct address in earlier years. Then the returned envelope. No such num, then the green card, signed at Marigold Lane by C. Turner. Martin Reed held the card near his face. Mrs. Turner, did you receive this notice? Evelyn stood. The room shifted behind her. Someone's umbrella fell with a clatter. No. Was Mr. Turner authorized to accept legal notice for you? No. Carl uncrossed his ankle. Martin looked at him. Mr. Turner? Carl stood slowly. It came to the marital residence. Were you divorced then? Proceedings were underway. That was not my question. The room settled. Carl's mouth tightened. No. Martin looked at the signature again. Did you provide this to Mrs. Turner? Carl glanced toward Dean Voss. I don't recall. Rosa's hand moved on the table, not touching Evelyn, just near enough. Martin set the card down. Dean Voss stood. Our position is the property was properly noticed through available records. The parcel has remained delinquent and deteriorated. My client has invested in good faith. Rosa slid another document forward. Your client is Sycamore Renewal Partners? Dean paused. Yes, and Rosa placed the tax certificate assignment beside the downtown agenda. Registered address matches Turner Contracting. The parcel is included in the Sycamore Block Parking and Access Improvement Proposal. It is marked required for access. Martin Reed read the agenda. Evelyn did not look at Carl. She looked at the county seal, crooked by half an inch. Dean Voss cleared his throat. Redevelopment interest is not improper. No one said it was, Rosa said. Her voice stayed level. The issue is notice. Martin Reed turned a page, and redemption. Rosa nodded. Mrs. Turner is prepared to redeem the delinquent amount pending corrected notice and recalculation. The amount was $1,943.62. Evelyn did not have it. That part had sat in her chest for days like a stone. Rosa had told her the county could set a short deadline. 30 days, maybe less. Evelyn had called 3 credit unions, one cousin in Ohio, and a woman from church who had once asked her to chair the rummage sale. No one had said no cruelly. That did not make the number smaller. Bethany had called the night before. I can do 700. You don't have to. I know, that was all. Rosa had found a local women's aid fund that would loan another $600 with no interest, because May's old appointment books proved the shop had once served women trying to leave controlled homes. The rest would come from selling the lake timeshare. Dining set Evelyn had been awarded but never received, because Carl had put it in storage and forgotten it was listed in the settlement. Bethany had the storage receipt. He had only planned loudly. Martin Reed looked across the table. Based on defective address notice and disputed receipt of mailed notice, the Bureau will stay the sale. Mrs. Turner will be permitted to redeem within 30 days after corrected calculation. Any transfer to Sycamore Renewal Partners is suspended. The words were plain. No one gasped. No gavel struck. A pen rolled off the table and landed on the carpet without sound. Carl stared at Martin Reed. Dean Voss closed his folder. Evelyn remained standing until Rosa touched her sleeve. "Sit," Rosa whispered. She sat. Behind her, Bethany let out one breath that sounded almost like a sob but stopped before becoming one. Martin Reed continued. "Given the conflict disclosed in the purchaser documentation, the file will be referred for administrative review." Carl looked at Evelyn then. He did not look ruined. Men like Carl rarely looked ruined in public. His shirt was still pressed, his boots still clean, but his face had gone flat around the eyes, as if some private calculation had failed. Outside room 214, people opened umbrellas and shook water from their sleeves. Evelyn stood near the hallway window with the red accordion folder held against her ribs. Through the glass, the courthouse steps shone wet in the noon light. Carl came toward her. Bethany stepped forward, then stopped. Carl looked at the folder. "You could have sold." "Yes, this won't make you money. I know." He waited for more, for explanation, for pleading, for the old habit of filling silence so he would not have to stand in it. Evelyn said nothing. Carl looked past her to Bethany. "You're helping this?" Bethany held the grocery store coffee cup she had not thrown away. The cardboard had softened in her hand. "I'm sitting here." Carl's jaw moved once, then he walked away. His boots squeaked on the wet tile. The 30 days were hard. Quiet justice did not pay electric bills. It did not fix plumbing or replace dryer cords. It did not make the back room safe or the roof stop leaking. Evelyn moved through each day with lists. She sold the dining set from storage for $402 to a woman whose son had just gotten an apartment. The woman paid in 20s and apologized for needing help loading the chairs. Bethany brought the $700 in a bank envelope with a purple crayon mark on the corner. One of the children had drawn on it. The Women's Aid Fund check came with a letter addressed to Evelyn Larkin, the wrong last name, but the amount was right. Rosa went with her to pay the redemption. The cashier stamped the receipt with a heavy black stamp. Evelyn asked for 3 copies. The cashier gave her a look. Rosa said 5. They got 5. At the shop, Evelyn taped 1 copy inside the shampoo cabinet. She did not know why. Maybe because her mother would have. The city inspector came the following week. He was young, with red ears and a clipboard. He tested outlets, frowned at the back stairs, and told Evelyn the left shampoo sink had to be capped until the plumbing was repaired. He was not unkind.
"You opening again?"
2 chairs. My grandmother came here. What was her name? Lorna Bates. Evelyn found the 1998 appointment book. Lorna appeared on Thursdays, paid later. The inspector read it and looked away. "I'll give you 60 days on the non-critical items. Thank you. Don't use that sink." "I won't," he wrote with a cheap pen that skipped twice. After he left, Evelyn covered the left sink with a folded towel and set a jar of new bobby pins on top. She bought them at the pharmacy, black, brown, silver. 3 cards for $5.97. She peeled them off the cardboard one by one and dropped them into the jar. The sound was small and metallic. Click, click, click. The shop did not reopen with a ribbon. No one from the paper came, no balloons, no cake. Evelyn cleaned the mirrors with vinegar until the room smelled sharp. Rosa brought a coffee maker from her garage and a can of coffee that was too old but usable. Bethany washed the capes in her own machine and returned them folded in a laundry basket with 1 sock of her son's stuck to the pile. The first customer was Mrs. Delaney from the tax office across the street. She came in at 9:15 on a Thursday wearing a rain bonnet and carrying cash folded into a tissue. "I just need a trim." Evelyn had not held shears in years, But her mother had taught her before Carl had decided secretary work looked better. Her fingers remembered more than she expected. Snip, snip. The radio on the shelf played low static between old songs. Outside, a truck splashed through a curbside puddle. Morning light came through the cleaned front glass and caught the peeling gold letters from behind. Mrs. Delaney watched Evelyn in the mirror. "May kept things," she said. "Yes, she kept me once." Evelyn lowered the comb. Mrs. Delaney touched the tissue in her lap. "Bad winter, 1987. My husband drank the rent." Evelyn waited. "May put $20 in my coat pocket. I found it at the bus stop." The shop held the words without making a scene of them. Evelyn finished the trim. When Mrs. Delaney tried to pay, Evelyn charged $12. "That's too little." It's enough." Mrs. Delaney left $2 extra under the edge of the cracked hand mirror. By noon, 3 women had stopped in to look. One made an appointment. One asked if the back room was still there. One brought a box of towels from her linen closet, edges frayed but clean. At 3:40, Bethany came with the children. The little girl ran her fingers over the pink chair and asked why it had tape on the side. Bethany told her old things needed help staying together. Evelyn pretended not to hear. Bethany stood near the shampoo cabinet. "I found something." She handed Evelyn a small envelope. Inside was a photograph from 1996. Evelyn at Carl's kitchen table, pregnant Bethany beside her, both of them bent over Turner contracting invoices. Evelyn wore a blue blouse with the sleeves rolled up. Her hand rested on the adding machine. Carl stood in the background, half cut from the frame, talking on the phone. On the back, Bethany had written as a teenager, "Mom doing Dad's books again." The ink was smudged where someone's thumb had touched it years ago. "I don't know why I kept it," Bethany said. Evelyn looked at the photograph. Then she slipped it into the red accordion folder behind the paid redemption receipt. After closing, Evelyn turned off the front lights one by one. The hood dryers sat silent, their chrome dull but wiped clean. The covered left sink waited under its folded towel. The jar of bobby pins caught the last strip of evening light. She picked up the cracked hand mirror and cleaned the glass with the hem of her blouse. In the mirror, the room appeared behind her in broken pieces. The chairs. The appointment books, the towel over the sink, the red folder on the counter, Rosa's cough maker. Bethany's child asleep in one chair with a cape tucked over her knees. Evelyn set the mirror back beside the register. Before she locked the door, she took the old notice from the wall, the one addressed to a number that no longer existed, the one Carl had counted on. She folded it carefully and placed it in the shampoo cabinet with the receipts, the appointment books, the certified mail slips, and the paid stamp. Then she turned the key. Outside, Sycamore Street smelled of rain on warm pavement. The tax office sign blinked red across the street. A bus opened its doors at the corner and lowered with a sigh. Evelyn stood under the metal awning while the gold letters above her held to the glass as best they could. Beauty room. The apostrophe was still missing. She would fix it tomorrow.